Now it's time to preview an upcoming game with Ryan Metzler.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to take a look at another Kickstarter preview. This time we're going to take a look at Ancient Terrible Things by Pleasant Company Games, with the Kickstarter being run by Game Salute. Now, this is a game for 2 to 4 players in which you're trying to unlock the secrets of ancient terrible things, either by collecting tokens and using those tokens to pay to unlock the secrets, or by rolling dice and hopefully getting the right dice rolls through some manipulation of those dice in order to unlock them in a different way. However, there are some risks to be taken. If you do not unlock them, you're going to potentially take negative points. So real quick, we'll take a look at what you get inside of this box and take a look at how the game plays. A quick reminder, these are prototype quality components, not the final components. And then I'll come back here and I'll sum up the whole game for you at the end. So here you can see the setup for a 4-player game of Ancient Terrible Things. What we're looking at here are prototype components, although a very nice prototype, so just realize that what you get when you buy the game may not exactly reflect what you see out here right now. Now, as I said, we've got a board here, and each of these positions on the board, you'll see a spot for a card, is a different location. These are going to be places where players can go in order to try and unveil or find some ancient, terrible things and reveal their secrets. So at the beginning of the game, we're going to set this up, and we have Dark Waters. We have the Weird Signet, and all types of different little cards that are going to be at these different locations. Each of these cards is in a deck, and this deck of cards has 3 different backings. We'll see green, yellow, and red backings, which are increasing difficulty, green being the easiest and red being the hardest of these cards. You're going to set these up at the beginning of the game. You may remove some cards based on the number of players, but it will always go from easiest to hardest to kind of scale the game as the game goes. In addition, you're going to see a deck of blue cards here. Each player will have some of these cards in their hand. These are called feat cards, and you'll be playing those throughout the game to alter die rolls or have various other effects. Anyhow, when we reveal these cards, we'll also see that the cards have several different traits. Each card has a number at the top left-hand corner. This is its courage number, in this case 1, and these will go up throughout the game. This 1 indicates how many courage tokens you must spend in order to accomplish this card if you don't wish to do the die roll part. So when you go to a location, you first have the option to basically pay purple tokens in order to buy the card, and it will give you that number of points at the end of the game. Otherwise, you'll see that it has a token on it and it has a die at the bottom. The token is for the setup, so when you reveal this card, you'll put that token on that location, and whoever goes to that location will get the token. And the die value is the die you must roll in order to accomplish that card if you decide not to buy it using the courage token. So this one requires a die of value 6. Whereas you'll see other ones might require a pair. For example, this one here requires a pair of 4s or better. And the next one, a pair of 3s. While some might require runs. For example, this one requires a 2, 3, 4 or better in a run of 3. And this one here requires a 3 of a kind of 1s or better. So, when we reveal those, we're going to put the appropriate tokens out. And then here we have tokens that go onto locations. So this one here is going to get a focus token, which is essentially a reroll. While this one here is going to get a courage token, which allows you to buy different things. This one here is going to get a feat token, which is going to allow you to play these blue cards. And these ones over here are going to get treasure tokens, while the last one gets a courage token. Once you have that all set up, you're going to choose the scenario you want to play. So there's 2 possible scenarios. One that has some ways to spend your dice on one side, and the other one has a different set of ways to spend dice on the other side. So you can simply just choose which one of these you want to play. It gives some variability to the game. We'll use scenario 1, which says that on your turn you may spend a 4 or higher die to get a green token, a pair of 3s or higher to get 2 blue tokens, 3 of a kind or higher and more dice to get at least 3 purple tokens, or a run in order to get at least 3 of the yellow tokens. So, now that we're all set up, each player will start the game with 1 of each token and 3 of these feat cards. On a player's turn, they are going to first check and see if any of these locations have cards. If there are any with cards, they're going to go ahead and take their turn. Otherwise, they're going to replenish cards from the top of the deck and fill all of the locations, and then take their turn. The first player, who will have the map card, which also gives them a point at the end of the game if they are the first player, will move their token to one of these locations. So you'll see that they have a choice of 6 locations at the beginning of the game. So maybe the green player decides that they want to start collecting money, and they'll need money in order to buy swag cards, which can alter the way that they use their dice or their tokens throughout the game. So maybe they decide to go here to the Sinister Chateau. When they go here, they immediately take the token that's on that spot and they add it to their reserve. So no matter what, you're going to get the token. They also have the option of using the ability that is printed on each of the locations. So each location has its own ability. For example, this one here allows you to immediately pay purple tokens to accomplish any one of the other cards. So, for example, if I went here instead and had 2 purple tokens, I could pay to accomplish this area here, and take that and put it in my score pile. I don't get the token from that area, but I have just scored 2 points, and may be able to score more points later on my turn by finishing this card. So I would do that, and then this card would get replaced. But that's the ability of that location. The next location allows you to discard some of your feat cards, and this is the only way to get rid of them without using them. So you discard them, and at the end of the turn you'd be able to draw up more feat cards. Whereas the next one allows you to trade a token with one other player, so you can swap out a token you have with something that somebody else has in order to benefit you. The 2 here allowed you to take either one of the 2 shown tokens, so a purple and a yellow, or a green and or a blue. And when you go there, you get that ability. And then the last one, which I'm on right now, allows you to take the first player. So our green player would be able to take the first player card, and they would now be acting first in each round of the game. After that, they have the option of paying the 2 purple tokens on this card in order to accomplish the goal of that card. And they would score that card. So, well, look, I only have 1 purple token, can't do it. After that, they're going to roll their dice, and we'll see that they have 5 green dice. And they're going to roll these dice, and they're trying to get a pair of 5s or better. Well, they did. They already have a pair of 5s. They could stop right here if they wanted to, and they would accomplish that objective. If they didn't want to stop, they have 2 options. They can either re-roll all of the dice without paying any of their green tokens, or for each die they want to re-roll, they may pay 1 token. So, for example, I could re-roll just 1 die by paying 1 token. So maybe I decide to do that, and I pay my die, or pay my token, re-roll the die, and I get another 5. Alright, now I can either re-roll everything, obviously taking a chance that I won't get my pair of 5s or better, or I can stop right here, and you get a total of 2 re-rolls, 1 your original roll, and then 2 re-rolls after that. Either using tokens or not using tokens, re-rolling all of the dice or some of the dice. But whenever you decide to stop, you will take a look at what dice you have. Now, I'm going to use 2 of my 5s in order to accomplish my objective, and I will use those 5s, take this off to the side, and put it into my score pile. The rest of my dice I may use according to the scenario that we've chosen. So we'll see here, 4s or better allow me to buy green tokens. Well, I have a 4 and a 5. Runs would be good for me, or would sets, but I don't have any of those. So I can spend my remaining 2 dice that are 4 or higher in order to get 2 green tokens. My last die, a 1, is useless for this turn. At this point, I will move myself to the trading post, and I have the option to buy cards from this swag pile. In order to buy a card from the swag pile, you have to pay the cost that's on the top right-hand corner of the card. So we'll see 2, 3, or 3 of the yellow tokens. I only have 2, so I could only buy this one on the left. The other option you have is you can pay 2 tokens to cycle any of the cards that are in this pile, getting rid of them and flipping new cards out to look at what might be available. Now, these swag cards affect what you can do on your turn. So, for example, we have this one here, which is the gramophone, which is at the end of the turn, you fill your hand to 4 cards instead of 3. So it increases your hand size. Whereas hard cash here says that items from the trading post are always going to cost you 1 fewer money. So that's kind of an investment in the future. Or we have this one here that says at the end of the game, basically, for every 2 focus tokens, well, you can actually spend 2 focus tokens on your turn to gain 1 of each other token. So that's going to be a way to trade tokens in to get other tokens. And there are several other cards in here. For example, we have one here that says when you roll dice, instead of rolling all green dice, you roll 1 yellow die. And this yellow die is always free to re-roll, so you never have to pay tokens. Or there's another card that allows you to roll a red die. And the red die is one that you can never re-roll. So if you buy that, you're going to have to use it and never re-roll it, but it adds that die to your pool, so you get an extra die to play with. Now, on top of that, you're going to have a hand of cards that you can play, and this is the use for the blue tokens. We've covered what green tokens are for, re-rolling dice. Purple tokens are for using to accomplish objectives without having to have the appropriate die roll, and the blue tokens are for playing cards. So we'll see I have a handful of cards. Each of these cards has a cost in the upper right-hand corner. This one is a 1. And it says that I can set any die to the value of 3. So this is useful if I need a pair of 3s and I've only rolled 1. I can pay 1 blue token to use this to set one of my dice to 3. And you can do this before or after any of your rolls, or re-rolls. So we'll see that some of the tokens do other things. This one here says that each opponent must discard a token if I decide to play this card. It has to be a blue token. So this is a way to control your other opponent's stacks of tokens. And then we have one here that's for 3 tokens, you can gain 3 focus tokens. So it's a way to trade in blue tokens to get green tokens to have rerolls for later. So you'll see there's a lot of options. Either way, at the end of your turn, you're going to look at how many cards you have and you're going to draw up to 3. Or 4 if you have the gramophone. At this point, the next player will go, and they have an option of fewer locations. So now there's only 5 available to go to. But they're going to choose one, and they're going to go to it. So maybe they decide to go over here. They take their blue token and add it to their supply, and then they can use the ability. If they have the purple tokens, they can go ahead and buy one of these other ones, which would then be replaced, but would not get a new token on the area. After that, they're going to roll and try and accomplish the objective of the thing, if they decide not to pay the purple tokens to accomplish it. And if they get the right rolls, they'll succeed. Now, there is the possibility that you do not get the roll you need by the time you're done with all of your rerolls. In that case, you actually fail to accomplish your objective. You don't unlock the secrets of the ancient terrible thing. And it will send that card to the captain's journal. At that point, you have to take one of these tokens off of the expedition track. You'll see that they have different values. This one here has no value. It's a 0, and this would be 0 negative points at the end of the game. There's no real penalty for failing except for that you didn't get the positive points of the card you collected. As the game goes on, failing will get worse and worse. So we'll see that some of the tokens are worth 1 negative point, whereas later in the game, 2 negative points, and the ones towards the end of the game are 3 negative points, represented by the 3 tentacles. If at any point the last token is taken off of this track, the game will end, and no one will have any future turns to gather more of the secrets of the ancient terrible things. The other way the game can end is if you ever need to refill cards, meaning that the board is empty, and the player needs to go and do something, but they have nowhere to place. You're going to fill the board with the cards, and if you cannot completely fill the board, or there are no cards, I should say, in the deck when you need to fill the board, the game is going to end immediately, and you will count the score. Your score at the end of the game is going to be the value of all of the cards you've collected by accomplishing the rolling or paying for the purple tokens on the cards. So you'll see this one is worth 2 points. But later in the game, the cards get much more difficult. We'll see this one is worth 8, so you can either spend 8 purple tokens to buy it, or you need a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or better. So you could use a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Whereas this one here, worth 9 points, but does need the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the only thing you can possibly use to get it. Or this one worth 7, and it needs a 1, 2, 3, 4 or better. So you'll see, the cards will get significantly harder as the game goes on once you refill these because they've all been used. In addition to that, you're going to score a point if you have the map. So whoever has the map at the end of the game gets 1 extra point. And you're going to subtract any points you have from the expedition track tokens that you've gotten throughout the game for failing to accomplish your objectives. In addition, at the end of the game, there are 4 specific achievements that you're going to get for having accomplished the most of something. So for example, this one is for Furious Feats. To the player who accomplished the most feats, which showed the feats token on them, so if we look through the ones that have blue on them, whoever accomplished the most of those is going to get 4 additional points. In addition, you're going to see that whoever has the most courage feats can get 4 additional points, and the same is true for treasures and focus. So if you try and get a bunch of feats of the same type, at least 3 in all cases, you can get 4 extra ancient secrets at the end of the game towards your point score. In this manner, you're either going to play through the entire deck, or until too many people fail to unlock the ancient secrets of one of their quests, and whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. Well, there you have it. That is Ancient Terrible Things, a game for 2 to 4 players with a lot of different strategic options. Now, with the tokens, there's a lot of things you can do. You can either use those green tokens to get a lot of rerolls, so you can try and focus on getting a lot of rerolls to get the right dice rolls to accomplish your Ancient Terrible Things and unlock those secrets. Or you can go for collecting a lot of purple tokens, and instead of rolling the dice, just try and pay for all of your cards so that you don't have to rely on dice rolls. Or if you're collecting blue tokens, you can use the fate cards and hope you can manipulate your dice with the fate cards in order to accomplish what you need to. Or if you don't like that option, you can go for the treasure and try and buy swag cards that will let you manipulate your dice or alter the gameplay in some way so that you can succeed. All around, though, you're going to want to try and avoid taking those encounter tokens, the negative points, because who wants negative points in a game? But it's a nice balancing factor and a game limiting factor that will determine when the game ends. So, with all of that, I would say that you should check out the Kickstarter campaign for Ancient Terrible Things, see what they are currently offering, and perhaps even pledge.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.